More on President Biden's first year in office. We're joined now by political analyst Brian Sobel. Brian, always appreciate your time today. Let's start with COVID-19, because obviously President Biden came into office saying that he had a plan to control this virus. He was supposed to be that steady hand to sort of move us beyond this pandemic. But obviously he's been thrown the latest curveball here with the Omicron surge. The White House now struggling to send out free test kits and masks to Americans. Critics say he's been too slow to act here. What do you think President Biden has gotten right in terms of the COVID response, and what were some of his most serious mistakes?
First, Alex, I think what he got right was raising the national consciousness around COVID, the need for vaccinations in his view, for boosters. He's been the COVID in chief, in a sense. But what was not controllable was A, the virus, and B, how all these departments were going to try to deal with this situation. This is not a contained virus. This is a national virus. It's an international virus. And so I think the tendency was for the president to signal that he had his arms around the whole thing. But in fact, I'm not sure one person, one administration can do it. I thought he gave a pretty good answer, Alex, when he said that, it's sort of a moving target, the virus. It is. It's not so easy. I think it was just the rhetoric in the early days about how the last administration didn't do anything or didn't do enough, and we're going to do everything. And what we find out is that this virus defies party registration.
Yeah, and it has certainly humbled many people in leadership, including President Biden. He was asked today at this news conference specifically about an issue affecting a lot of Americans right now, and that is the lack of available tests. The administration just now beginning to ramp up the website to send out those free test kits. Let's listen to what President Biden said today about that criticism.
On testing, we should have done it quicker, but we've done remarkable since then. What we have more testing going on than anywhere in the world. And we're going to continue to increase that. Did we have it at the moment exactly when we should have moved? And could we have moved a month earlier? Yeah, we could have. But with everything else that's going on, I don't view that as somehow a mark of incompetence.
So do you think President Biden truly understands and appreciates the frustration from the American people at not being able to just be able to find a test kit to know if they have COVID-19? How can he sort of restore that confidence moving forward here so that Americans believe he has control of this pandemic in this situation?
Alex, I think anecdotally, he certainly knows how Americans are feeling. He's watching television like everybody else and hearing stories. And these test kits have not gotten out the way that they could have and the way that he wanted. But again, we're talking about what is a massive logistical effort. And what happens a lot of times in government, as we all know, is an overpromise and an underdeliver kind of scenario. And I think if the president is going to learn anything through this whole COVID situation, it's to temper his enthusiasm around what government can do in a quick period of time. In all fairness, Alex, the last administration, for example, was able to, within the government apparatus, force the FDA to make the vaccines available in a record period of time. Right. But when you're talking about shipping things all over the country, it doesn't work quite the same way.
All right. Also today, President Biden really pointed to a lot of progress that's been made on the economic recovery in this country. A lot more people are heading back to work. The unemployment rate is falling in this country. But at the same time, the administration facing a lot of criticism because we're dealing with soaring inflation right now, and we continue to struggle with these supply chain issues. How does President Biden and this administration go about convincing the American people that the economy really is on the rebound?
I think he has to be the president that comes out and talks in very optimistic tones with plans behind that for solving this, whether it's dealing with the inflation, which, as you mentioned, is rising and needs to be and will need to be brought under control. These shipping issues, it's across the board, Alex, where this is problematic for the president. But there is time. If he can get some of these things under control, it will potentially work better for him over time. But there's a backdrop to this, and that is that people are losing confidence in the president. And I see a lot of parallels historically with the first months and years of the Jimmy Carter administration, where the individual was a really, really nice person, Joe Biden, Jimmy Carter, but whether they could govern at a level of the presidency is a whole other question. We're going to see whether this administration can make this work. But there is time for him to right the ship.
Right, absolutely. As the White House and the president continue to point out here, this is just 1 year, 3 more years to go here for President Biden. So certainly plenty of time to reverse course here and right the ship on some of these issues. I really appreciate your time, as always, political analyst Brian Sobel. Good to see you.
Absolutely, Alex. Take care.
Take care.